Perfect. Hey, Louis, how are you?
Hey Ralph, good thanks. How are you, sir?
Very good. I want to thank everybody else for joining us as well. My name is Ralph Murhai. I'm the CEO of ERP.Aero, and with me is Louis Morris. He is the co-founder at FlyCover.com and the CEO of LGM Aviation. And I'm very, very excited to have him on today because we have some very, very good things to talk about. Before we get into it, I want to tell you a little bit about who we are. ERP.Aero is well, I believe it's the aviation industry's most advanced ERP solution. I think it's purpose built specifically for aviation suppliers, distributors, brokers, and so on. It's designed for speed. It's extremely efficient. One of the reasons being is everything is literally interconnected. And what we do very well is eliminate redundant data entry. And again, with us is Louis from FlyCover. And if you don't know FlyCover, I suggest that you get to know them real quick because what they do is they provide seamless and on-demand insurance solutions for aviation parts and materials. What that does is it makes every part of risk management faster, smarter, and more accessible. But we're going to get into that a little bit more in this podcast or interview. So let's just go ahead and get started. Louis, thank you again. You want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Ralph. Louis Morris, yeah, as you said, founder and CEO of LGM Aviation, a global parts provider, first and foremost, and also co-founder of FlyCover, which was a project born out, a pandemic project, in all honesty, born out of frustrations of running a business in the aerospace industry and the obvious need and reliance for insurance and risk management, and as I say, frustrations out of a lack of access to good products in quick real time, as fast as we need them, or I should say, as fast as our customers need them. So yeah, we set about to kind of turn things on its head and redefine how insurance is bought and sold, and that brings us to the partnership with ERP.Aero. As I said, on one hat, I'm a loyal customer, and our team absolutely thrives on the ERP.Aero system at LGM Aviation. People that join us from a quantum background and so on pick it up in a matter of days. So testament to the great user-friendly platform that you've built. And then with a FlyCover hat on, a proud partner within a true industry first that we're talking about today. So super excited to get into that with you and tell your users more about that.
I appreciate that. That is neat to hear. I know we don't use words like neat too much, but it was very, very, very neat to hear. Why do you think you mentioned the relationship and the partnership, which obviously is center stage at least right now in terms of what we're talking about? But why do you think partnerships like this one with FlyCover and ERP.Aero are crucial or important? At least that's what I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think from day one, what's drawn us to ERP.Aero and what has worked so well is that, unlike other ERP providers out there with which we have first-hand experience, they are kind of faceless organizations. Whereas with ERP.Aero, every time we've ever needed support, there's a human on the other end within minutes. Every issue or process improvement or efficiency that my team has ever brought to the table, you guys have taken it and run with it. And yeah, I think it's just by that kind of collaborative effort together, I think we've refined what was already an impressive platform. And yeah, as I say, our team absolutely love it. We thrive. I can't see us working with anybody else.
That's awesome to hear. I'm going to take that, put it in size 200 font all over LinkedIn.
There you go.
Tell us a little bit about your background, your journey, as they would say, A to Z, and maybe leading into the origin story of FlyCover.
Yeah. So my background, I finished college in the UK and started out my career flying for the Royal Air Force. So kind of know enough to be dangerous about aircraft parts and systems. But I don't claim to be a technical person. I'm from a commercial background, really. Spent a number of years on the commercial team at AJW Aviation, chasing PBH contracts all over the globe, and got some outstanding experience at a young age there, and owe everybody at AJ's a lot for that. And then was headhunted by a US competitor to establish a similar kind of commercial or programs team, if you like. And after a few years of doing that, basically decided it was the right time to go out on my own and start LGM Aviation, which we did in September 2017. The company thrived through the pandemic in a sea of chaos. We carved a niche for ourselves in the heat of all repossessions, redeliveries, and so on, providing materials management support for all the lessors, and fundamentally having a business model about cutting out red tape, driving efficiency, and using common sense to solve problems. So being a smaller player in the industry, our superpowers are speed and ability to just get stuff done quickly and easily. So to bring it to FlyCover, I said it was a project born out of frustration in all honesty, of running LGM, knowing and totally valuing the importance of insurances, different layers of insurance for different risks, and again, operating in a complex, fast-moving global supply chain such as aviation. Typically, insurance and aviation, or light speed, don't really go hand in hand. What you used to find was a lot of red tape, paperwork, forms, application forms, proposal forms, just painful, right? And our customers aren't prepared to wait for that. If we're not ready to roll quickly and simply, they're just going to go elsewhere. So we set out with my co-founder, Sam Kurtica, who basically came with a wealth of financial services expertise, C-suite experience, award-winning executive, and has built award-winning brokerages in the financial services industry. So I suppose if I teed up the industry problems, Sam was all about kind of packaging up the solution with our insurance partners and building distribution. So together, a really solid team. And we set out to kind of turn everything on its head in terms of how insurance was bought and sold in the industry. And what I mean by that is cutting out all the red tape and paperwork and admin and fuss, and just delivering, giving access to best-in-class products and services instant digitally, in as quick and easy format, and for best value proposition as we can.
That's great. That's really, really great. Yeah, I can relate a lot to that from dealing with our customers, being in the industry as long as I think I've been in it, and speaking with people as well. So yeah, the need is there, and I think it's time, and I think this will change everything. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but in your own words, what's your vision? What's your vision for this?
Well, I think from the fact finding that we've done, some of the stats are kind of shocking when you really look at it. I think, again, as I said, nobody misunderstands the fact that insurance is necessary in this industry. But what happens is a lot of the smaller, mid-sized companies that are running fast, trying to just do deals and not miss out to larger competitors, are often taking unnecessary risks. As I say, insurance is often an afterthought or a total omission. In North America alone, 60% of all goods in transit domestically are either underinsured or not insured at all. So our insurance partners talk about an underinsurance crisis, without kind of scaremongering, but it's on that level, right? So when you look at the global supply chain for aerospace, you add in the complexities of cross-country and international trade and all the rest of it. And fundamentally, these parts are complex, fragile, highly susceptible to damage in transit, or total loss. And in which case, a lot of these parts are incredibly expensive. So I could bore you all day with examples of where people have lost out on just banking on the fact that, we thought we were insured. We ticked the box on UPX or FedEx, DHL. Well, no, actually, what you don't realize is that product isn't actually fit for purpose. That is all geared about a small fractional recovery based on the scrap metal value of that component or part.
Oh, wow.
So
Yep.
You take a highly complex avionics box, for example, which is primarily plastic with some chipboards and all the rest of it, pretty low metal content compared to an IDG or something, let's say. And so it could be worth $70,000, but you could be reclaiming a few sort of percentage points of that value with FedEx and UPL. So UPS. So it's truly not fit for purpose. So what we did is we seek to find a solution that brought best in class, all risk, door to door, no fuss, kind of no hassle insurance for all goods in transit, instant digital, and at a price point where it's a no brainer. So all those things, what that means is that it gives better access to more people that can now buy insurance quickly, take extra layers of protection without incurring costs and making claims on master policies and costs going up and all these kinds of things. So we think that by giving this access to a broader scope of people across the industry, it's only going to be better for the supply chain as a whole. And that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more specifically about that. What do you think are the gaps that FlyCover is solving for?
So the gaps again is awareness, number one. A lot of people don't know, as I said, the complexities, or they just take it for granted that they've got cover, or they think that they've bought a policy that's going to put them back in the original recover the original position, but it's often just not the case. Even in the examples of where people have got all the insurances, and again, a great example of this, we've had so many conversations with people going, yeah, great idea, but what about an airline? They're going to have all the insurances up to their eyeballs. They don't need this. Well, actually, what we've seen is, and if I'm really honest, yeah, we weren't necessarily going directly after people that have got all the insurances. We're trying to fill that. As I said, you take that 60% of goods that are exposed in North America alone, you ripple that out. That was what we're going after, right? But actually what we're seeing is that the people that have been receptive, as well as those, are the airlines and lessors and people, OEMs, that have got insurance up to their eyeballs. But what they want is extra layers of protection. So if something's going for a shop visit and something happens, God forbid, they don't want to make a claim on the master policy that affects everything.
Right.
And these policies are held as like higher than gods in these organizations. Do not make a claim. And we've got, I mean, I won't name names, but Sam and I went to visit a major global player in the MRO industry. I mean, a big hundreds of $1 million turnover business with facilities on every corner of the globe. And for exactly that reason, they had a loss of an expensive avionics part, and they didn't want to make a claim on the master policy. And so they simply wrote it off, and they took a P&L hit and just swallowed it. And you think, literally, if you'd paid like $70 on FlyCover, you would have recovered the full invoice value of that part and moved on without ever taking a hit on any other master policy or anything. So it's extra layers of protection is what we think makes really sustainable business in the supply chain.
That's amazing. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around that. So specifically, I mean, I know you've already touched a little bit upon this, but specifically, how is FlyCover helping to address issues like underinsurance or claims delays?
Yeah. So by partnering with people like yourselves and giving access, all of your users, giving them access in real time to this product. And again, we're just talking about our go live product with ERP.Aero. We've got a number of different digital products that cover a whole host of things. 12-month all shipment cover, delayed cargo cover for time critical shipments, you name it. We've got a whole host of different products that we're going to bring into this as we kind of go through the different phases of implementation with you guys. But in phase one, we're just talking about individual parts in transit. And your users will enjoy up to $2 million instant access. They can purchase in real time. In our experience, that's more than enough to cover landing gears. We've done multiple landing gear shipments to and from shop, small engines or as removed engines for dismantling. We can still refer higher business over those levels, but to give your users instant access, I think it's a quantum shift in the industry. And I mean, to put it into context, for anything up to $25,000 in terms of parts value, you're talking about $50. It's a no-brainer. And so you can bake that into your processes, bake it in as an administration fee. Companies can sleep peacefully at night knowing that if something happens, they're covered. It's pay as you go. You don't need to use it on every shipment. You may just say, do you know what? As removed part worth $300 going to shop, I'll take the risk. But when it comes out of shop worth $10,000 overhauled, I want it insured, right?
Of course.
So $50, you're covered. You're good to go. And if you need to make a claim within 72 hours, you can make a claim and recover the full invoice value, and you never even need to talk to a human. We got you. So, yeah,
that peace of mind. Yeah, that peace of mind is extremely underrated. It's something that I believe is at the heart of what we're talking about, which again, I guess how this partnership came to be. So, considering my tenure with ERP.Aero, I know the relationship with FlyCover started before I joined the company. Can you help the listeners understand a little bit about how the partnership came to be, and what initially were thought were the benefits for the customers, and how did that sort of evolve and change over time leading up to now?
Yeah, well, I think the partnership with ERP.Aero was obvious. Number one, again, putting my other hat on as the CEO of LGM Aviation, as a parts company, fundamentally using ERP.Aero day to day. What we wanted to do with FlyCover was use LGM as a blueprint for how to deploy this technology and kind of best practice, if you like. And so we took a decision as a business that we wanted to bake in insurance or risk cover in everything that we do. And because I want to sleep well at night, number one, I don't want to ever be in a position where we've had to take a P&L hit, our cash flow is affected, or God forbid, our customer is in a position where they're pointing the finger at us. I would always rather come out smelling of roses in a situation and not lose a customer over something that I think we could manage proactively. So by managing risks in this way, we've built in redundancy in everything that we're doing. And you know what it's like when we sell a part, it's 9 times out of 10, it's available. X works at our dock, Miami, Heathrow, wherever. All risk on the customer to collect. But again, 9 times out of 10, our customer is going to ask us to arrange a shipment on their FedEx or their DHL account, or send in a courier to come collect it, whatever, at their risk. But we've heard so many stories of people that have done that. The seller isn't at risk in the shipment. The customer is. But who's the customer? If FedEx lose you the shipment, who are they going to come pointing at? They're going to say, hey, Ralph, you arranged a shipment for us. Yeah, but it's on your FedEx account. You're at risk, not us. I just don't want to have that argument. Don't worry, we got you covered. Or what we've done as well is give our customers the ability to select and buy off every quote that we supply to them. So again, the discussion was there with ERP.Aero from day one, because we wanted to roll this out as a blueprint across LGM Aviation, giving the customers and our own internal teams access to all risk coverage at every leg of what we're doing in our supply chain. And so the natural evolution and bringing it kind of up to date was actually, we talked about different ways that we could integrate this product and have a kind of we've got an offline, sorry, not offline, but off your system. We have our own website and customer portal, which we can use, or some customers, partners of ours, want to do things through email referral and stuff and track links and all that stuff. But I think what's really shone with this is that you guys have embraced technology. And again, this has been my experience of working with you guys throughout, is there's no stupid ideas. And it's like, you guys just take it and run with it. And I think what you've done is embraced the full firepower of this technology that we've got together, and just deployed it in the best possible light by, again, beaming it in real time into the workflow of all your users, be it at quote stage, buying parts, placing purchase orders or repair orders, or later on actually at invoice stage. So again, as I said before, what didn't work or what doesn't work in the industry is taking unnecessary risks, leaving insurance to the end of the process and thinking of it as an afterthought, or it becomes an omission. And
exactly.
And actually, by allowing people to think about insurance at the start of that flow and say, hey, we sure we don't want to bake in $50 for this part, and then it's in there and job done. When you're raising a PO, it's already got it in there, so we're not having to ask people to re-engineer things at the end of the process. So
No brainer, no brainer. Those words keep coming up. It's a no brainer. I don't remember whether it was earlier or another day. I told you the story about a friend of mine who's in aviation supply. Long story short, he mentioned that it takes 1 to 4 hours on average for him to insure an APU every single time, and then they have to go back and put it on the paperwork, which I
yeah,
thought was absolutely crazy.
and I mean, if let's be honest, if someone is grounded, if it's a true AOG, that's like the global response time, isn't it? Something should be leaving the dock within 2 to 4 hours.
Immediately, yep,
You
yep,
can't still be talking about insurance, and that's what I mean. The supply chain and our customers don't wait. So
exactly.
what we've given them is access to a product where they can pay as they go, pick and choose when to use it in real time, and don't wait for anybody.
That's it's again perfectly put. The only other thing I'd say about what you just shared with everybody and with me is that your sentiments and your thoughts are exactly the reason of why I am with ERP.Aero. It's this best foot forward mentality. Let's put our customers first. That's one of the first things I recognized about it before I came on board, and that's what I see every single day when we're dealing with customers, when we're dealing with prospects, when we're dealing with the general public or anybody at that. So I appreciate the fact that you feel the exact same way, but I also relate and I agree with you 100% for what it's worth. Let's shift gears. Let's shift gears for a second. I mean, we're still talking about the same thing, but in addition to everything that we just said, what do you think the role of technology is in shaping aviation?
So we talk about this at length, both in FlyCover and at LGM. But again, I'm going to focus on FlyCover. Sam Kurtica brings to the table years of expertise in the financial services industry in the UK. And when we first started putting this business case together to go live with a FlyCover business proposition, what Sam recognized immediately with our industry in aerospace is that we are like financial services was 10 years ago. And all the change that you've seen in how people buy and workflows, customer journeys, digitizing. Like, we talk a good game in the aerospace industry, but actually, if we're really honest, what we have is just a lot of fragmented. Everybody's got an e-commerce site. Everyone looks on ILS or PartsBase or whatever for parts, and then you come offline to go look for them and buy them. And there's a lot of good ideas, but there's still a whole lot of gaps and inefficiencies. So for me, technology, the right use of technology is working smart, not hard, and just implementing operational efficiencies again and again and again. It's nothing more than that for me. That is the single biggest feature.
This really wasn't on the agenda, but how do you feel about being one of the first to try something? I mean, I think I know the answer based on this venture, based on this company of yours. But how do you feel about that? And is it helpful? Has it been good to you? Is it yet to be determined? What do you think?
Do you know what? In all honesty, and I'm not making this up, we had a customer come into us today, like a brand new customer, with the low-hanging fruit with FlyCover's initial proposition on the all risk cover for goods in transit. The low-hanging fruit is working with partner freight forwarders who are effectively like resellers for us. Let's be honest. They're dealing with hundreds of thousands of shipments with hundreds of different companies globally, and they're incredible at bringing in customers into FlyCover, and that's great. It's also super exciting talking to partners like yourselves, where we can do these kind of integrations and stuff. But for me, again, bearing in mind the story that I told of how this business came about, when I can see in real time that we're helping individuals, as we help today, a director of a company, a small company in the UK, that, again, I'm not going to name names, but they lost $16,500 of their own money.
Wow.
They had ticked the box on UPS and they thought they were covered for transit cover. UPS lost their package. As I said, you spend months wasting your time and effort trying to prove the shipper, UPS in this instance, negligent. good luck with that. And if you do get somewhere, as I said, all you can look forward to is a few percentage points of that 16,500. This guy just said, you know what, that's not acceptable. And luckily for us, a friend in the industry, who I owe a beer, I need to message him later, referred us. And we set them up today, and they shipped out another part. They shipped a part from the UK to the US for repair today. And for $50, they had it covered, all risk, and we've got them covered on the way back to set them up as a user on our portal. And I think sorry, in a long-winded way, I think what really resonates with that story is that we've helped someone that was kind of in my shoes when we first set out to solve this problem. And it's everything else is kind of low-hanging fruit, and it kind of makes sense. But when you can actually help someone, the owner and director of a small business, where that cash is king to his cash flow, and to give that protection, that peace of mind to someone who just went, you know what, this is brilliant. I wish I had this months and years ago. How long have you guys been going? Those are the ones that are really kind of compelling to me, and I think that we get a real buzz from that. So.
That's amazing. I love those aha moments. It's really. It's a sight to see. It's really something that is very cool. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, it makes me feel good whenever I see that light bulb go off with somebody. I've been like that for a long time in my journey, in my life, in my previous experiences, and I'm seeing it here every day. And we run across it with talking to our customers, talking to the general market as a whole, the ideas that we have, the ideas that we hear, the implementations that we put together moving forward, and just light bulb comes on. As I was saying, I think it's tremendous. I don't know if we can talk about this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Are there any new developments or partnerships that FlyCover is exploring that you can share, at least?
That we can share. I'll generalize it. No, we're the beauty of our technology is that we've got a one-click checkout function, which is the real kind of, let's say, we can do multiple different ways of providing access to the FlyCover suite of products and services. As I said, we keep talking about what we're going live with you, which is just instant cover for individual parts, but we've got a whole host of other digital products that we can switch on, number one. So for you take an aircraft that's going into a heavy maintenance visit, let's say, that could be for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, God knows what. What we can offer is a digital solution to cover every shipment in and out for that project for a set
period. That's awesome.
So fire and forget, you're covered. That could be materials that come in that's being supplied for the check. It could be core components going out that you're on the hook for.
So both ways.
Both ways.
Okay.
It could also cover ship items that go out and back to the check. Time critical. So that's a really neat function that we've produced. We've also got annual policies that just cover everything. We've also got, which is a real exciting one, digital stock throughput policies now. So again, through our partners at Loadshore, I mean, what's really exciting about that is the efficiencies that brings by being digital. Typically, you're burdening the cost with tower blocks in the central London or New York or whatever it is, all this overhead cost. But again, Loadshore as a partner is leading. There are Lloyd's InsurTech award-winning startup. Well, not a startup any longer, but award-winning organization. Johnny, the founder and CEO, third generation Lloyd's of London broker, basically set out and said, look, everything's digitizing in this industry. If anyone's going to put me out of a job, it's going to be myself. And so
I like that.
He's had a real impressive view to kind of changing how insurance is bought and sold. And again, so his world was kind of marine and cargo, and so relevant in so many ways to what we're doing in aerospace, which is why we partnered with them and brought them in to help solve this problem in aerospace. So that's one side of it. We've got some other exciting partnerships with, we've got an incredible partner in Autonomy AI. Those guys also, Lloyd's of London, InsurTech startup, award-winning, another best-in-class product that brings to our dispensation. And what that is real-time autonomous tracking of your shipments. What I mean by autonomous, again, it's you fire and forget. All we need is your tracking number of your shipment. and then the system tracks whether it's on time, falling behind time.
Step by step.
If it notices it's been delayed by more than 24 hours, it will automatically email the assured person and say, hey, do you need to make a claim against any of these coverages? And what that's really doing is giving people protection if they're on the hook contractually for getting parts to a certain place at a certain time. Again, think of our industry. It's not just about having parts on the shelf. You've got to be able to get it to the right place at the right time with the right paperwork. So this product with Autonomy AI will help ensure that. And in the event that you suddenly get stuck with there's a delay, you're left with extra freight forwarding costs or demurrage charges or whatever it may be, that records are damaged by water and you've got to recreate the records or whatever it may be, that is a pot that you can draw down on, 100 grand instantly that you can draw down on to solve those problems.
Okay.
Financial, contractual penalties for not getting a part where you need it, where you said you'd get it in time. That's there to protect people from that. So
that's great.
Product-wise, that's what we've got going on. Integration-wise, we're keen to work with anybody across all software types, directories, marketplaces, you name it. So yeah.
That's really, really great. I appreciate you explaining that. So, but the next question is going to be a little bit weird, because I'm going to ask you to put your founder hat on the side for a second and put on your business owner hat for one quick second, and forget that you have that founder's hat, if that makes sense, if you follow.
Sure.
Seeing how this is a new proposition in sorts, but you've been an avid user and a participant in everything that is in this integration. Tell everybody about, from a business owner standpoint, the benefits of having this integration available, baked into your process A to Z.
It's a no-brainer. Costs you nothing, means nothing in time. We're not asking for your users to do anything extra on top of what they're already doing. And what I mean by that is, if you're populating the RFQ page of ERP.Aero, you're entering some customer account details, the part that they need, you've done your vendor market, or you've done your market, or you have it in stock, you know what you're going to charge, your markups, you go through to the quote phase. At that point, we've got all the information that we need. We know the value of the part. We know what it is. We know where it's going from and to, and we've also got some nice drag and drop functions to help if you need to mess around, do creative things there too. But fundamentally, we're not asking you to do anything other than click one button and instantly calculate what insurance policy looks like for this. And then it's totally at your discretion if you want it. If not, no problem. You can give your customers access to it. Yeah, it's just a complete no-brainer.
That's perfectly said. And on that note, I think we're going to wrap up. I want to thank you, Louis, for joining us today. I want to tell everybody one more time that I believe ERP.Aero and FlyCover have partnered up to bring something special. I believe it's seamless, and as mentioned many times, it's on demand, and it's insurance coverage to help you mitigate any and all of your risks. To have access to that product within your workflow, I think is tremendous. And at the risk of repeating myself, I don't think it's acceptable that users and companies and individuals out there spend 1, 2, 3, 4 hours to find coverage for a part before it goes, because as Louis said initially, especially if you're dealing with an AOG, that part should be out and ready to go without any hesitation, without any roadblocks. So we're very, very excited about this partnership. We're very, very excited about this conversation that we had, Louis. So I'll thank you again, or one more time, and I wish you very, very well. I hope to see you soon, and look for our next podcast. We'll announce that really soon. One last thing, Louis, I took the conversation that we had the other day, and then I actually wrote an article about it. I just put it out on LinkedIn this morning. It's titled "Redefining Aviation Insurance: The Story of a Game-Changing Partnership." I like it, but I put it together, so I'm very, very subjective about that. But I'm very interested in knowing your opinion. So again, thank you so much, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything. I wish you well, and I hope to talk to you and see you soon.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, Ralph. Likewise, we really appreciate all your time and support ERP.Aero, and we're super excited about this. It truly is an aviation first. It's the first time this product's been released and the first time it's been baked into an ERP system. Just yeah, so first on a whole number of levels. So really excited to see how your users get on, and if anybody needs any help or support, they can contact us, support@flycover.com, and we'll be glad to help.
Thank you, Louis.
All right, see you. Thanks.
Chat.
Bye.
Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.